Hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode. Yes, I almost didn't think that I had a topic to share, and it's only because yesterday was a total rest day and I had to break away from overdoing. And I'm grateful for those rest days because those help add to creativity and clarity, and my body can, it's so beneficial for the body, mind, soul, and spirit to break away and make sure that that is something that we implement, not by anyone else's telling us what to do. And also, when we add that to a part of our vision and our, like if you have this dream to build something massive, whether it's a family legacy or a career or a business or a great marriage, whatever it is, our bodies were not designed to keep going. Our bodies were not designed to keep going under pressure or to perform. Like, we're not robots. We're not an engine in a car per se. Even engines need time off. So then why is it that we as people push ourselves to exhaustion until we're forced to take a break? So I have something for you today. Before I get into today's topic, I am in the middle of creating a powerful thing. And it's like a membership. And I know I've been talking about it. And I realized that I have forgotten to do the one thing that would be beneficial for everyone, not just me, right? So I know that due to past experiences with clients, but now I want to come to you like I have this massive vision to create a massive, like, it's like a membership, but like studio where people come and listen and they pay. And I'm creating like this massive movement for women in career who have lost themselves and are in that loop of like self-abandonment, and you can come back home to yourself and ditch the busyness and the chaos and the burnout and performance and the proving, find you again under all that. And I want to know from you, and please put in the comments. I'll also add my email so you can reach out to me and let me know how I can serve you. What is it that you need support in? How can I support you? And also, the other thing I'm asking is if you would also be so kind to drop a testimonial and let me know. You can do that. I believe you can comment on my show. I know YouTube, you can comment. I believe in every podcast platform, it gives you an option, Apple and Spotify. I would love to hear from you. How has this podcast transformed you? What are things you've been implementing? What is something that you can celebrate? And then, due to creating something powerful, I would love to know, like, what topics you would want to hear in there. Or, let me know how I can serve you. Let me know how I can support you on this podcast. And if you have topics that you would like me to cover, like within what I talk about, like dreams, visions, momentum, energy. Let's see. I actually have a list here, which would be the topics. Let's see. So, along the lines of, let me look. I was in like reclamation, more personal stories and realizations, career reclamation. So, reclamation in your energy, identity, voice, visions and dreams, confidence, energy. Energy management, leading yourself well, boundaries, burnout, performance, identity. What is it you would like to hear more of? And I would love to hear from you. And yes, I do welcome your feedback on what I just asked. So I had a very huge revelation about a place in my life where it feels like a suddenly has taken a turn, and it's caused me to stop in my tracks, to stop doing what I was doing, to let go of things I've learned that have put me in burnout and pressure and performance in every aspect of my life, religion, career, raising my family, how I operate with finances, how I operate in business, everything I've been trained since birth in foster care up until now, even with business, mentors. This includes career. I'm at a pivot. I literally came to a complete stop just within the last couple of months, and I said, I'm done. And I turned around and I said, I'm not going down that path anymore. Now, I am a firm believer in God. I've had to learn who He is for myself, let go of the ideologies and teachings that have been given to me and passed down to me from generations and um the past generations. It's a as a generational curse breaker, I'm breaking the patterns that have destroyed my past generations and my family, and that will have destroyed future generations. I am the one that I believe there's one in every family, maybe there's two, who decide to break the status quo, break the usual things, the same way of doing things, break the patterns, break the curses. It comes with a cost, right? Sometimes we don't realize the cost until we are deep in it. We're deep in the pressure, deep in the in the doing and the proving and the exhaustion and the chaos and the busyness. We don't pick that up we don't pick that up by ourselves. We learn that from people. It could be our parents, our it could be passed down to us from trauma, previous trauma in the womb. It could be passed down to us from jobs that we get, going to college, doing all the things that we're told to do without really a reason, but we do it anyway. And then we learn from people. And I don't think people realize that they are actually, without saying a word, they're leading by example. In my life, here's what I've learned about myself. I looked to leaders or people that presented themselves as leaders to me. I looked to them as the end all be all and the ones who had all the answers. And I allowed them unknowingly to basically shift me in directions that I wasn't designed or wired to go in. But I thought that that's what I had to do. And boy, having no having knowing what I know now and realizing that I have not known what I am sharing with you today, it's costed me a lot in my life. I recently realized that I have been striving, not in the good way, striving in a way that has been taught to me. Also, this was taught to me in the church. And this is just my experience. I'm not bashing the church. In my experience, I was taught to perform. I was taught to work my freaking face off, work myself into the ground, work 6 days, give my all of my time on my rest day, which was only Sunday, because there you're required to, give of yourself. And you're also required to tithe now and pay, which is it's in the word. You can go Google it, go research it, but we're taught to give only to that one environment. But in my experience, that one environment was not fertile ground. It was not soil that was, it was rocky. It was like my finances did not grow during that long, lengthy time of my life. So I was taught to overdo, overgive. I also hired mentors and people who showed me that they were leaders. Not every mentor, but there are a lot of mentors that have a work your freaking face off. Go, 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 do, over deliver, go, 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 create, create, create. And it didn't build momentum, maybe at first, but it built exhaustion. It built it released pressure that I lived under. So much so that in the last 3 or 4 years, I have been given two diagnoses that cannot be fixed. Can they be? Is there things to help? Yes. Do I use those diagnoses as an excuse or reason to not do anything? No. But I have been looked at, spoken to, as though I do. And I have been spoken to and looked at like I am giving excuses when I'm not. Because yesterday I was talking to God and I said, with tears, I had a very angry, like I was just so like, I just felt like I felt all of my hard work was just for nothing because of questions that were asked of me. And I don't think a lot of people are aware that they have to be very careful of their word choices with their questions. And I know that they don't intend to come off sometimes the way that they do, but sometimes words can leave us feeling like we aren't doing enough. And so I was talking to God and I was just, like full of emotions and the tears were just coming and I could cry when I say this live on the air today, but I had to ask God, how the hell am I supposed to get to my vision if I have this diagnosis that that is preventing me on some days to have the energy to show up? How am I supposed to show up? How do you expect me to do what you've given me to do in my life? I'm freaking 48. Are you kidding me? Like now? It comes full circle and this is the time I'm supposed to execute? Like you have a really funny sense of humor. But I had to get really real and I'm like, I feel like I'm expected to perform under pressure. I can't do that. I've been doing it my whole life. Since birth. Birth. I was born. My birth parents decided alcohol was their vice. I don't know what else they chose. I don't know if it's truthful. I don't know if they did drugs. I don't know. All I know is alcohol was their choice. They were not fit to parent me. So from birth, I was put under pressure to perform because I had to prove I was worthy to be chosen to different foster homes. And even they couldn't parent. First 10 years of my life was just filled with torment and abuse and horrors. It was horrific. I was not safe there. Oh, but they put on a good show and a good front. They sure did. Sharing my story is something that I've wanted to do because it's the foundation of literally how I got to here, to these revelations that I'm sharing with you. That I'm sitting here on my couch telling you, hey, there are other ways. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to live in chaos and pressure to show that we are successful anymore. There's a different way. That's why I'm building a massive movement. And over the last few days, it's just felt really heavy because I'm like, how in the hell am I supposed to produce and perform and keep going? I think I got a phone call in the midst of me saying, so I'll just reiterate what I was saying. Within the last few days, I have been, faced with this overwhelming sense of how the hell am I supposed to execute my vision when it just feels too big. It feels so big. It feels bigger than myself. And I have had to stop and ask God, how do you expect me? And I know there are other people. I know for a fact there are other people who have been faced with this because it says so in his word. There's a guy. in a book called Habakkuk. It's in chapter 2. Go read it. Okay, so this dude, he was like around things and people, and he got off course with his vision. And he was like talking to God about that. So God reminds him of this. He's like, hey, write the vision, make it plain, so that he who reads it may run with it. And then he says, and and I'm paraphrasing. You can go look it up. Go Google it, okay? It's the vision scripture, one of them. Write it, make it plain. He who reads it will run with it. And then it says, basically, I'm paraphrasing, don't worry, even though it tarries, it will come to pass. Now, Bible doesn't say what age you will be when your vision comes to pass. It doesn't say to put a timeline or a date on it. Even when you are in execution mode, one of the top things I have been asked since doing a business, even in career, every area of my life, but mostly business for the last 15 freaking years, when are you going to get that completed by? Doesn't that sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? School, educational system, pressuring kids to do a great job so they graduate, right? What about your job, your career? When are you going to get that done by? Slapping on of the expectations. Under promise, over deliver. Put yourself in pressure. Do you know what it's like to witness 30-year-olds having panic attacks in a job right in front of you because they can't perform the duties because it's like overly too much? People who are 50-ish year olds having breakdowns, having to leave the job because they're overly stressed. Do you want to know what it's like to watch in my career? Okay, I've had over 3 decades, so this is not one facility. It's multiple. Over 3 decades, over 30 years, watching grown women in their 60s having mental breakdowns because they cannot keep up with the workflow. Do you know what that's like? To sit there and watch that and to have to be forced to hold the space. You can't fix it. There is no fix it for anxiety attacks. There are quick fixes, but there's a root to the problem. And once you find the root, like what's the root? What's the cause? Doesn't mean you have to be fixed. It means you learn how to implement. And what I've learned in the therapy world is integrate, because there's a part of us that hasn't learned to implement, integrate, or acclimate to our surroundings. We can't carry it all. You probably hear the passion in my voice, and that's what this is. We can't fix things that we don't know why. Why are we overgiving? Why are we pressuring? Why are we working under pressure? This movement that I'm building feels so unbelievably huge. And there's days where I question God, why did you choose me? Why? Why did you give me a voice? Why did you give me what you've given me in my heart? Why? Do you know what I've faced being the black sheep of the family, the goat? Do you want to know what I have faced? A lifetime of of chaos and upheaval and rejection and abandonment, but I didn't quit. I've been tempted to quit. There are people that aren't going to agree with your vision and your dreams or your voice. You want to know my voice? It's been a thing that since birth, God put in me this voice to transform, even if it's just the one. I was talking to a great friend and mentor yesterday, and I said, everything that's left is my voice. That's it. One thing I know that's true is my voice, it transforms. And I'm here to use my voice, even if it's just for the one. Even if in the movement only one person signs up for 6 months and they come, I'm there for the one. I'm even there for the five. I have had 5 people show up. I've spoken in front of 100 people multiple times at church. It looked like there were 100 people in the room. I'm pretty sure there were. Okay. And I've spoken in front of 12 people in masterminds. I've spoken in front of 30 people on group calls. I have been invited as guests on a podcast, two podcasts, yes. I was interviewed by a mentor. She did a live thing where she interviewed us, asked us questions, and I was seen, showcased for what I am doing now. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but I said what I do, and it's the same theme. Building a mass movement to get people out from under the pressure of burnout so they can come back to themselves. But who are the people? Women in career. Do I also coach men? Yes, because they listen to me also. And so it's men and women in career. That's who I help. That's who I partner with. Not just help sounds like it's a therapy session. No, no, no. I'm not a therapist. I have been on people's YouTube shows. I have been invited as a guest where I got to share my story because it's my dream to share my story, build a mass movement at the same time because it brings transformation. I don't share my story in a manner for people to like feel sorry for me. And this is like a backstory, context purposes, how I'm able to keep going even on days where it feels so overwhelming. I have spoken in front of people when I used to do a network marketing business, live, in person. I have taken classes. I got I've been a part of the speakers, John Maxwell Speakers Club. I've done things to get here, but it's a dream. And every time that a new level comes, I'm not going to say new level, new devil. No, no, no. It's a nervous system thing. It's a healing thing that happens. It's a new thing that you face, but it's only because when you face those things, you can move through and move forward. And this is where people stop themselves. They slam on the brakes. Why? Because it's painful. Because when you look at yourself in the mirror, you are reminded of how far you didn't come, of how much you didn't accomplish, and then we put ourselves down, and then we trash ourselves, and instead it's like, no, don't do that. Look at yourself and say, yo, you're a freaking badass. Look what you've survived. Look what you've overcome. Look at you. Wow, I'm so proud of you. That's what you say. And even with tears in your eyes, you tell yourself how amazingly sexy and handsome you are, and beautiful, and amazing, fantastic, badass. You keep kicking ass and taking names. You freaking rock star. I don't care if there's a cuss word in there. And you start speaking life over yourself, and that helps you get through. But also, you get in a community of people that are on the same path, on the same similar journey. And there might be some farther ahead of you, and there might be some that are just starting, and that's okay. But you get your ass in those spaces. Why? Because this journey isn't for you to go solo. It's for you to build a life that you look back and say, wow, this is where I was. This is what I've done. This is the things I've overcome. And this is where I'm going. And I share that with you. Where I was, born into foster care. What happened, right? What I did, what I'm doing, where I'm going. It's exactly what I share with you. You might not like, and I'm gonna say something that might fan your flame and give you your spark back today. Put your hand on your heart. That vision and dream that God has given you doesn't need a timeline stamped on it. It is a vision and dream that you get to tap into. You get to tap into it. And let me tell you something. When you step out in faith and you just say, "Here I am, God," okay, whether you believe in him or not, you can say those words. But you just put one foot in front of the freaking other and you go do the thing. You start somewhere. Did you know I started speaking on stages at a church in 2009 giving edification, which is a form of encouragement. So I've spent my life encouraging people. And then people would stop and ask me questions about everything. And then I let it get to my head because I didn't know any better. Of course, we learn. People would tell me, "You belong up there." And I didn't know what the hell they meant then. And I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you. I guess I do, don't I?" But I didn't know that I was being prepared for such a time as this. And what, I don't know how old you are. I don't even know, whether you can let me know in the comments. Hey, Tiff, yo, this is where I'm at in my life. This is where I've been, and this is where I would love to go. I would love to come alongside you and celebrate with you, and cheer you on, and encourage you, and be that voice in your ear. I would love to do that. That's what I'm building, is a space just for that, a place. It started as a vision, started as a spark, speaking, getting in front of people, and now I didn't know I would have a podcast. I I rejected the idea of a podcast until 3 freaking years ago. I want to say 2022, 2020, no, 2022 I started. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I had already started the process, and God is the one that has fanned the flame, brought the people that have watered the seeds, planted the seeds, gave me the fertilizer to keep going. Guess what? Now I have this podcast. I have specific dates. November 1st, 2014 is when I took my speaking. I stopped, let's see, 2017, 2019. So I stopped going to church 2019. So, but in the process, I remember doing my first ever, ready, Facebook video, November 1st, 2014. I just gotten laid off of a job and I had a message. So I dressed up, recorded a video, and uploaded it to Facebook. Then I was known as the Facebook gal for several years in my area. It was quite fun. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I was a celebrity, literally, in where I live. And I'm like, that's interesting. People I've never seen before stop me in the store. Hey, you're the Facebook gal. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I even had somebody last year when I was at the doctor's office and I was feeling like shit come up to me. And I've known this person. I used to work with them. And they said to me, I don't know who's listening. All I'm doing is showing up. And she said to me, "Tiffany, your your stuff has helped me get through the toughest times in my life. Thank you." I had no idea. I didn't know she was watching because I don't see her. And so it's things like that that solidify that I'm in the right place, that I'm going, even if it doesn't look the way that I thought. There really is no timeline on getting your vision completed, your dreams out there. There really is no timeline on how much you can do. There really is no timeline. What matters is that you start. Because when you start, I promise you that you will be given help. There are people that will come alongside you. You will start getting opportunities. You will find ways to invest into different programs that can help you get to your dreams and vision without pressure, without performance. And in the process, you will heal. You're listening to a chick that has been doing just that. So I just want to say to you today, keep going. And if you are, living out your dreams and your vision, no matter how small that is, even if you're an artist and you're just starting, even if you're just starting out as a coach and you have this dream to be like a head chef. Do you want to know that an amazing listener who's also my nephew, Isaiah Shaw, amazing guy, and I'm not just saying this because he's family, but he let me know, and I think it was February of this year, I did a series in my podcast about letting go of the clutter, I believe. Well, anyway, he shows up in my inbox randomly out of the blue and told me, "Hey, I started listening to you and it's great stuff. And also, my life is changing." Then he gives me another testimonial where he said that for the last 10 years, he has been working towards becoming a head chef. And now he's a head chef. This was like February or March of 2026. I just did a series. Now, I don't know how long he's been listening to my podcast. And yes, he did give me permission to share his testimonial. And other folks have lovingly told me that I have a soothing voice, and that's why people, that's why they believe that my podcast is taking off. And they didn't know why they kept listening, but they're like, wow, this is pretty cool. I enjoy listening to this. So even in times when I've doubted myself, God brings something out of the blue to let me know, like, hey, you're on the right track. Because sometimes it can feel really, it can feel like a lot. And so I just want to encourage you to keep going. Don't give up. And things don't have to be dire. We get to choose what we do with our life. That's our choice. That's nobody else told us how to live. And if we're living by other people's blueprints and rules, well, it's time to get rid of those and time to go kick ass, take names, and go live the life that you want. Because you get to decide how your life is going to go. And yes, there are things that happen to us that give us what we need for us so we can keep going. I had absolutely no clue that I was designed to speak and lead people. And my story is my story. I happened to land in foster care since before I was one, but that story is what connects me to people. And it's how I got to here. It's the foundation. So don't discount your story, no matter how horrific. And everybody's story is your story. Doesn't matter. No one's trauma is bigger than the other. Everyone has their own. Don't compare. Stop comparing yourself. And lastly, thank you for choosing yourself by showing up today to listen. You did that for you. And I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to you who's listening. Thank you for being here in the community. I'm honored. And please don't forget to let me know, how can I serve you? How can I support you? And I said in the very beginning, so go back and listen to that, things I'm working on. And that concludes this episode.